What's up, y'all? It's Zims, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we're going to be reacting to The Puppet, The Dancing Plague. I know you guys was talking about this a long time ago. I forgot which video it was that we watched back then on BuzzFeed Unsolved, but I know Shane mentioned something about people dancing around till they died. So you guys told me to check out their new channel because they posted about it, and so that's exactly what I'm going to do. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Reprisalzems, and welcome to the Crow's Nest. But for now, let's get it.
Welcome one and all to Puppet History! Today we'll be taking a deep diving, ever-winding look into yet another chapter in the heavy book we call history, while our guests ruthlessly vie for the coveted title of History Master. Ryan Bergara,
History Master.
Yeah, I'm ready as always.
Special guest Jermaine Fowler, are you ready?
I don't know.
Okay, then let's crack it.
Let's get it.
Could I take another guess at your name?
Huh? Sure.
You're the professor?
I'm the professor.
Wiggles?
Professor Wiggles not bad. But no!
Professor McNasty.
That's close. That's close. I am a little nasty.
Okay.
Today, we'll be talking about a city on the brink and their very strange coping methods. You guys ever been pushed to the brink?
Sure.
Always, every day.
I don't think I have yet.
Has the universe ever just challenged you?
Yes.
Every day.
Yes, the universe has challenged me. Yes, Professor McNasty.
Okay.
McNasty.
I actually kind of like the ring of that.
Professor
Would you guys like
Goat
to know what
King.
we're competing for?
Our
Yeah.
Goat
Yeah, what are we competing for?
It is the coveted cup of the History Master.
Shane's hand.
Ignore the hand.
Whose hand is that,
Huh?
Professor?
It's God.
God's a white man, huh?
Oh, I mean, it's the devil.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's up. You know your audience.
Well, in the Alsace region of Europe in the early 1500s, it's very safe to say that people were stressed, cosmically stressed. See, these were a people only a few generations removed from the mass devastation of the bubonic plague, and it's easy to imagine that the sheer trauma of experiencing a borderline biblical event could imbue a few generations with an all-enveloping sense of existential dread. Rough.
Are any of the stories that you're
was
going to
pretty
tell, is it one of them at least not going to be a bummer, or are they all going to be
No,
bummers?
they're all pretty sad. History is a sad thing.
Yeah, you're probably right.
There's some like happy historical events, like the day peanut butter was invented
Or
and stuff
whoa.
like that.
I would say that, when
Yeah,
I first
yeah.
saw Lion King.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
Lion
That
King
was good
a
too.
one, yeah.
So considering all that, the city of Strasbourg seemed like a prime candidate for ground zero of the impending apocalypse. See, the common folk of Strasbourg, in addition to all the struggles of just surviving in the 1500s, found themselves dealing with an increasingly problematic clergy. Author John Waller says, quote, monks and priests shamelessly took concubines and all had greater appetites for meat, drink, and sleep than for prayer or pastoral duties.
I see nothing has changed over the years because these exact same priests are still here in this world today. But, they're attending to the younger generation, if you know what I'm saying. Hey, but that's not all of them. I'm just saying. Past doesn't lie, but that's what I'm seeing. So it seems that the bloodline is still trickling down as the years goes on. So it's interesting to know that they were more interested in, concubines and food and drinks and stuff like that rather than preaching the word of God.
Can't fault them for that, you know what I'm saying?
I guess even clergymen have to get the, kind of want to say that, that's so crass.
No, say it.
Yeah, I guess sometimes clergymen got to get
Okay, no, that was too crass. That's disgusting.
It was little.
It's pretty
What is
gross.
wrong with you? People were not stoked about this because these holy folk are supposed to be their direct line to God.
No,
One
he
guy
did
was
not.
so fired up that he went poking around various local holy houses to see how much meat and booze they'd been hoarding, and he found plenty of dirt, but eventually gave up his investigation. Oh, that red light means we're at our first question. Why
Let's
do you
go.
think he stopped his little investigation? A, they paid him off in barrels of barley wine. B, a nun blackmailed him. Or C, a monk threatened to murder him.
All these are really good answers. So the thing about BuzzFeed Unsolved, or the thing about Shane is, it has to be the answer that's the least expected. Like, they paid him off in barley wine, whatever it is. I don't know what that is. He would not take that offer because he's out trying to investigate where they're getting from. So he's not going to accept the bribery. A nun blackmailed him. Maybe. But, one of the males can't really blackmail them because if they're doing their, they're having affairs and stuff, whatever, with concubines and prostitutes or whatever it is, B is most likely not going to be the answer. So I'm thinking it's going to be more of a C because the monks and the priests and the clergy, whatever man, was already corrupt as it is. So I'm thinking it's either C. My second choice will be B.
All right, Ryan, are you locked in?
I'm locked in.
What'd you put down?
I put C.
You think a monk threatened to murder him?
I don't think that's what happened, but it is the funniest outcome, so
Sure.
that's how I've been playing this game so far.
Makes sense. Jermaine?
I chose B,
You chose B.
non-blackmail.
With a happy face.
Yeah.
A little happy face.
You know,
fair.
a nun and blackmailing you just seems insane. And I always go with the craziest multiple choice question.
But
All
a
right.
monk threatening
Yeah,
to
I'm about
murder
to say a
someone isn't
monk.
crazier?
Well, let's find out.
Monks vow years and years to not do anything like that. So
Need help with
look at this dude.
It's fine.
Is that the monk?
That's the monk.
Oh, hey, Brother Thomas. Ah, my brother. Wonderful to see you. What brings your wonderful soul to the house of Sorry, fuck. What brings your beautiful soul to the house of His Holiness today? I saw something kind of weird recently. I could have sworn I saw someone wheeling barrels of ale into the church, but that couldn't be right. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that because I saw something weird today too. I saw a dead man walking. Huh? How'd you like to be dead? Whoa, let's just let you know about I thought it seemed like maybe some illicit activity. And I'm just letting you know that if you mention those barrels to anybody else, you'll end up in one.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
He Walter Whited him.
May peace be with you.
Walter whited him.
So, damn, he just Suge Knighted
He Suge Knighted him, yeah.
the random dude.
It seems like Ryan gets a history point there. Congrats, Ryan.
Hey,
Congratulations.
You guys
I'm
want
a
jelly
good
bean?
sport.
Thank you.
Good
thank
job.
You, thank you.
Driving an even greater wedge between the classes, the clergy
I got it right
lords had
too.
been hiking up taxes for years, and according to Waller, quote, peasants were forbidden from grazing pigs on common pasture, from fishing in local pools and streams, and from entering the forest to gather timber for building and fuel, to hunt game, even to pick acorns or berries. And that's some bullshit!
Yeah, I know. What are you
You seem
supposed to eat?
passionate about this.
Why don't you take it easy, man?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you want to go out there and pick some acorns and berries?
It's okay. It was a long time ago. It's over now. Your eyes got bigger.
I guess.
What's in your bag?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know? Why don't you come check it out?
I feel like it's a trap.
Come on, open my little bag.
Like the start of a horror movie.
No, come on here.
Don't
come
say
on.
Don't
that.
do it,
Open
bruh.
my little bag. It's
Open
not
my
gonna
little
make
bag.
me feel
Open your
comfortable.
bag.
Don't
dude.
do it, bro.
Take one out.
Okay.
It's a jelly bean.
It's a jelly bean.
That's right. That's for you.
You put props in the. He put so much thought in the character. You put jelly beans.
It's a jelly bean. Those are my special treats.
Actually, you know what? I'll take a jelly bean.
Imagine
go
it's
for
those
it.
Harry Potter booger ones, bro. I'll be
I
pissed.
do love jelly beans.
On top of all this
They're so
bullshit,
stupid,
the region
bro.
had been through a pretty rough couple decades. We're gonna run through this really quick, but every time I turn the light purple like this,
Oh,
I need you guys to shout, "All the crops died."
Okay.
Okay.
Just like that.
All the crocs died.
Great. So here we go. In 1492, there was a famine because
All the crops died.
in 1493, crops weren't half bad. But then everybody got syphilis and a bunch of people's skin fell off.
Oh my god.
Baller.
As they rounded the year
Syphilis.
1500, things
Make
leveled
your
out for a
skin
few
fall
years. The crops were good for a bit. And then,
All the crops died.
in 1507, hail the size of apples pummeled the town.
Whoa.
I'm having too much fun with them.
How big were they? Really the size of apples, or is that?
It was the size of apples! And because of the hail,
All the crops died.
then the bubonic plague staged a brief reunion tour and was mercifully stamped out by the bitter winter of 1511. But also,
All the crops died.
and then again in the bitter winter of 1514,
All the crops died.
Oh, we were on the same page there. We switched it up.
Hey.
followed by a summertime drought in the summer of 1516 when, one last time with gusto,
All the crops died.
I guess that's gusto. So that's a solid 2 decades of ever-mounting anxiety. Scores of people are struggling to make ends meet, falling deeper and deeper into debt, all the while starving, several to death. Could this have a toll on the general population's mental
Absolutely.
health? Well, sure. What concerning things
All right.
started to happen? A. People began to see the dead walk the earth. B. People began burying themselves alive. Or C. People began eating dirt until they died.
Ooh, seeing that people were starving, people began to see the dead walk the earth. Maybe they probably saw people that were very sick that looked like they're dead, but they really weren't dead. And then B, people began to bury themselves alive. I guess you kind of say people lost all hope. But then again, if they haven't eaten, how could they have the strength to bury themselves? So B is probably not going to be the answer. If it is, I'm going to be very shocked. And then C, people began eating dirt until they died. But if you're very, very hungry, that may not be the option. I'm going to go with C again.
So it's all death related.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
What was
with
A
C.
again?
People began to see the dead walk the earth.
I've heard things like that.
Yeah,
though.
that's crazy. So like ghosts,
Yeah.
Ghouls.
ghouls.
Ghouls,
Goblins.
But then again, when you don't eat, you hallucinate. So maybe.
All right, Ryan, what do you got?
I'm gonna
C.
go with C.
You're gonna go with C.
People eating dirt until
Yeah,
they
I
died.
think
Kind of similar
C.
to those people that danced till they died in France.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them. Jermaine, what are you going with?
I just feel like there should be like an all the above option because it just feels like all those things would have happened. But if I had to pick, I'm going with A.
Well, that's a point for Jermaine.
What?
Oh yes, that's right. I'm a history buff.
So Waller describes, quote, thousands imagined their dead relations to have escaped from purgatory, running and screaming to the music of drum and pipe. Many of those killed in battle were reported to be carrying their bloodied and mutilated limbs.
One woman was stricken with terror after having seen, quote, the ghost of her dead soldier husband clutching between bloody hands his own severed head.
Jesus Christ. And these were all visions.
Yes, these are all visions.
But no one ate dirt, right?
No one ate dirt, though that is a thing. That is a method of suicide. It's like a weird ancient thing. They would eat dirt until they died.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
If you thought all that
Did they
was bad,
season
welcome
it?
to 1517, which they depressingly and hilariously called the Bad Year, which would play out like a greatest hits compilation of the previous decades. More frozen crops, more hail, some smallpox, some leprosy, and a fun new disease. Guess what this new disease is called? A, the English sweat. B, Lucifer's indulgence. Or C, horsebite flu.
Why does the English sweat sounds like an energy drink? Lucifer's indulgent, horsebite flu. I want to go. It's always some stupid name. Like they have like bird flu. That was a stupid name. And then they called what's it called? Ebola. I was like, what is these names, bro? I feel like it's gonna be the English sweat. I don't know why, cause it's a weird name. It's either A or C, bro.
It would be funny if it was English sweat.
All right, Ryan, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with B.
You're gonna go with B, Lucifer's indulgence.
Lucifer's Indulgence sounds great. Also sounds like the name of a dope coffee shop in Silver Lake.
Okay, so
I go A.
sounded like a nice tea.
A
What?
tea
See?
called English sweat.
English sweat.
Yeah. Yeah. And B sounded like some incense.
Yeah.
So I chose
Well, that's lovely. What is that?
Lucifer's
I
indulgence.
chose C, but
chose
then
C.
I did a D, or butt meets delight. But,
Butt
you know,
meats.
Butt meets delight?
What are you talking about?
You know what?
it's a pirate.
You know what? I'm gonna give you an extra point for butt meets delight.
Hey, wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait a second. You can't do that.
Well, you've never taken the initiative, Ryan.
That's because I was playing by the rules. I didn't realize it was the fucking Wild West
Well,
out
maybe
here.
have a little fun with it every now and then.
That's true. You do have a satchel full of
I
jelly
reward
beans.
creativity. And I'm also giving that point out because neither of you got it right. It was called the English sweat.
Let's go!
So yeah, it was just a disease where you'd sweat for several days until you died.
What were the symptoms?
You'd sweat a lot. You just kept sweating.
How long did they sweat?
A few days.
They make names off of stupid. Like you could have a nose full of mucus, and they'll call it like the hillside booger syndrome. They be like, bro, what are you talking about? Oh man, I fell and I got bumps and stuff covering my elbow. They be like bumpable-itis. Like, bro, no.
Okay, where
The fact
were
that
we?
you can see in his hand makes me
Now,
laugh.
keeping in mind the
Look,
seemingly never-ending
Ryan laughed.
maelstrom of suffering, of mass anxiety, and prolonged trauma, let's set our sights on July 14th, summertime, 1518,
3 years later,
when a
or
woman
1 year
known
later.
as Frau Troffea was no longer content to sit idly by as the cruel hand of fate continued to give her community the finger. What did she do? And this is a free write.
Basically, whoever gets closer.
Yeah, I'll give a point to whoever's answer I like best.
She probably started looking for a cure during experiments on people
Ryan,
that had the
what do you got?
disease.
I think she covered herself in gasoline and ran through the town naked ablaze.
Okay. All right. Okay. Jermaine?
God damn, right?
That's right.
Oh, I just said she sought out some doctors.
That's
have some
probably a
doctors.
better call.
I'm going to give the point to Ryan just because it sort of captures the craziness of what is about to happen.
No way.
Please enjoy this brief scene that will show you all.
No way. There's no way, bro. She would not do something like that.
All
but
right,
then
yeah, I
again,
guess we could clap for that.
if you're
yeah.
desperate enough, maybe she starts setting people on fire.
Another miserable day in what is basically hell. Frau Troffea walks out onto the street, dazed. Oh, Frau, good morning. You're looking, you're looking pretty awful. You got a case of that, English butt sweat, or?
Why the music getting dark?
And Frau begins to dance. And she dances and dances.
I hope you put sound effects over this,
Yeah, I will.
because this looks ridiculous.
Yeah, so, she danced. And people probably thought, pretty funny. Good one, Frau.
She danced until she died, or she just danced?
Well, she continued to dance until she passed out from exhaustion. And then she woke up and she started dancing again.
Your eyes are getting more crooked by like the minute. It's so funny. Like they're less straight now.
That's how they are. I don't say anything funny about your eyes.
You're right, and I apologize. I fucked up. I fucked up hard.
It's fine.
bro. I'm
It's
sorry.
fine.
Are we gonna be okay here? We're gonna.
No, we're good. We're good.
We are?
Yeah, come on, man.
Let's shake it out. I'm sorry, man. I just thought,
By this point, you can imagine some folks were scratching their heads and tossing off some theories. A common one was that Frau Troffea was doing this to spite her lousy husband, who hated dancing. But that becomes a bit harder to believe when you consider that, according to author Jennifer Wright, quote, by the third day, blood was oozing out of her shoes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Another common theory that was widely circulated was that the poor woman had been the victim of divine wrath.
She took the term footloose too literally. You dance for 3 days straight and your feet start bleeding? How's that even possible? But then back then they had them shoes, bro. Them shoes didn't have no soul in them or nothing, bro. It was like mostly like wood and all that. You have to be some type of crazy to be dancing for 3 days straight and your feet start bleeding. So was it even a plague, or was it just she started dancing so everybody else was like, hey, let's keep dancing and forget about all this that's going on, and they just took it overboard and then just start dying?
Some suspected God himself. Others pointed to Saint Vitus, a saint known for bringing aid to those with epilepsy, but also inflicting it upon those who angered him. So it stacks up that Frau Troffea would be aware of Saint Vitus and his capabilities, as just 30 miles east of Strasbourg, there was a shrine to the saint, which is exactly where she was taken on July 20th, 6 days into her exhausting routine. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any information regarding the fate of Frau Troffea. Hopefully, performing some kind of penitence at the shrine of St. Vitus was enough to free her from this terrifying trance. But what we do know is that by July 21st, just 1 day after the poor lady was carted off to the shrine, at least 34 more residents of Strasbourg had started dancing.
What?
Amazing.
So
Wait
sorry.
a second.
Wow.
Kind of similar to those people that danced till they died in France.
Oh my God. This is the impetus for the people dancing till they died in France.
Yeah, you dipshit!
Holy, fuck you.
Strasbourg is in France!
I never, okay, every
It's
time
weird it took you this long to figure it out.
Well, here's the reason why. I thought, for whatever reason, that the dancing till they died plague was like a mass hysteria thing, but I never thought of it as a patient zero scenario.
Yeah. So dancing had officially reached plague status. And as with Frau Troffea, there was nothing joyous about their shuffling, just pure agony. Waller writes, quote, chroniclers tell us that those who were momentarily roused from their trances screamed for help from bystanders, God, and the saints. So nothing pleasant about this.
I love it. Have you ever been trapped in like a prison of your own laughter? Like where you're laughing and
yeah.
you want to stop laughing
Yeah.
and you can't and it starts to hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds horrifying.
Like the Joker
and
in like
awful.
Arkham Asylum. Like, I can imagine it. Yeah.
All right, no, Ryan, stop it. Stop it, please.
It would suck.
Oh, I missed it. So what started out as a curious anomaly had now become a bit of a municipal concern. Enough so that a council of magistrates thought that they should consult some local physicians. So, what do you think the physicians thought the issue was? A, hot blood. B, excess bile. Or C, a phlegm deficiency.
Phlegm
Those all
deficiency.
seem very plausible.
Yeah.
This is a tough one, McNair.
No, hot blood, because they're trying to cool off by dancing.
All right, Ryan,
hot
I'm
blood.
gonna go B for bile.
And
Hot
Jermaine?
blood.
I think it was A, hot
Yeah.
blood.
You're gonna go with hot blood.
Yeah.
That also is good.
The
Hot
physician
blood.
said, quote, dance is a natural disease which comes from overheated
Yes,
blood.
go!
No!
Point to Jermaine. Well, hearing this, the council put their heads together and decided there was only one possible prescription. What was their plan of action?
Water.
A, weighing down the feet of the dancers. B, baptizing the dancers. Or C, more dancing.
Way the feet of the dancers. 'Cause I feel like more, or they say more dancing to stop them from dancing because
I'm
they're
gonna go
tired.
with C, more dancing, just because
Yeah,
it
it
doesn't
might
make
get-
any sense.
Yeah.
And Jermaine?
I chose B. It felt like at
A.
this point the doctors weren't helping.
Sure.
So they brought in maybe some religious people to just,
Leave it to God.
yeah,
I think,
at this
right?
point that's what you do.
Yeah, that's true.
That'll sort it out.
Sure.
But they did blame God the first time.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's
So
true.
fuck.
Hey,
Yeah.
I fucked up.
I
I
think
got
A.
nothing.
Well, point to Ryan. They cleared out a couple of the local guild halls and an open market area. He even constructed a stage and escorted the afflicted, now numbering over 50, into these designated dancing areas. And to seal the deal, there was one last touch. They hired a band. Dozens of musicians were hired to play the most. Yeah.
I got a crazy gig for you, Frank.
Yeah.
Got a crazy gig, all right? We need it, all right? We need the money.
The council also employed various unafflicted people to dance alongside the entranced people, encouraging them to keep going. When people passed out, they were put back on their feet,
Like a third baseman,
And
like a
the-
third base
Fuck up.
coach.
and the musicians upped the tempo.
Oh boy.
bro, there's no way, bro. These doctors see that these people are dying, bro. Like their feet are bleeding, and their method was to, hey, let's hire some instruments and get more people to dance. I mean, back then you got to try stuff, right? Maybe they thought, hey, maybe they'll get tired tired out and their feet might start hurting, they'll stop dancing. But they had the other people that weren't affected help the other ones up to continue dancing. You obviously know there's something going on if they can't stop dancing. You think, you know, putting up a concert is gonna stop any? Like, come on, bro. Take her to the same hospital. Take them to the same hospital that took the other girl that was dancing the first time.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
A month into this, August rolls around, the number of dancers continued to grow, probably because it was a psychological virus, and instead of quarantining the thing, they literally put the dancers on a stage for everyone to see.
It didn't take long for things to go from strange to dark. Waller points to the records of a neighboring merchant named Lucas Rem, who jotted a note in his diary around the time, quote,
In the year 1518, in summer, lots of people died of the St. Vitus dance in Strasbourg. About 15 people died a day.
Man,
Yeah,
I
bad.
thought this was gonna have a happy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what happens when you try to put out fire with more fire.
Yeah, doesn't work. With no choice but to change their approach, the council now had to seriously grapple with the idea that the long decaying morals of the community may have angered a vengeful spirit.
Quickly and desperately changing their game plan, they ordered all dancers back to their homes and banned music. Strings were fine, but tambourines and drums, illegal.
You said that strings were allowed to keep playing?
Yeah, strings were fine. Beautiful, you know?
It just makes things sadder without music. You know what I mean?
Is there any royalty-free violin music you have right now that we could try and dance to?
Royalty
Yeah,
free.
here we go.
Does this look ridiculous?
You feeling it?
Oh, yeah. Does it look? How's it look?
You know what? Not working. Really not working.
Speak for yourself.
All right, even still in private homes, the mania continued to spread. At this point, the dancing had been going on for over a month, and while there are conflicting reports about the number of people, most seem to agree that there were at least a couple hundred. Desperate times cause for desperate
Measures.
Yeah.
There it is.
Nice.
Nice.
You know what? I'll give you an extra point for that.
What in the hell is going on here? This is bullshit.
We're on the same wavelength. I appreciate
You gotta
that.
avoid wavelengths, you know?
Fixed. This game is
All right.
fixed.
The magistrates weren't about to sit on their hands as their town was slaughtered by the jitterbug, so they really...
I'm sorry. That
you.
sentence is amazing.
Thank you.
It is pretty good.
So they really put their heads together and came up with a new plan. First, obviously, make a big 110-pound wax likeness of St. Vitus as a sweet gift to the dude. Sure. Second, line up a bunch of wagons to transport the afflicted wiggling masses to the shrine of St. Vitus about 30 miles outside of
They're
town.
still dancing.
They're still dancing. And what was their final measure? A,
What do you mean?
chain the dancers' feet together. B, buy the dancers sweet new kicks.
No.
Or C, dress a monkey up as St. Vitus and have it kiss the dancers' feet.
Oh God, I wish it was C.
Hey.
C is a shame thing.
Hey.
All right,
That's some shame. With
I got my answer in.
A.
I got A.
You're going with A, chain the dancers' feet together.
That's right.
Yeah, that's.
And Jermaine?
Not to
That's true.
piggyback off you, Ryan, but
That's
you've
fair.
been right so far.
You'll probably figure out a way to give you a point anyway.
So you're going with A as well?
I had to. It just sounded like the best option.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out what happened.
All right, everyone. So that's that. We'll make a nice offering to St. Vitus and haul these poor souls off to the shrine.
Oh, and we should give him some little red shoes.
Wait, now hang on a second. What's that you say?
I said we'll give him some little red shoes.
Well, please explain.
Damn it.
Oh, it's B.
Well, they'd be little and red, and they'd be shoes.
All right, well, let's order a bunch of little red shoes then.
God damn it. How are they gonna make that many shoes that quickly? How long does it take to make a shoe?
I don't know.
And red ones? Why red? So the blood, you don't see the blood or something?
Maybe.
That makes sense.
Once at the altar of St. Vitus, a very strict prescription for the afflicted was carried out. 1, they led the dancers in a circle around the altar. 2, they had each dancer offer up a single penny as a donation. And then they took them back to the chapel and down to the wagons. That was it. Do you think it worked?
Is this a question, by the way?
No.
Do you think it worked?
I guess it did.
Ooh, now I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I got a 50% shot here.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
I
Yes.
both think it worked.
No.
Yeah, we're getting towards the end of the story. It's kind of like when it's the third act of a movie. I know
Sure.
a character is about to off.
Well, it did.
Yay!
There it is.
Finally, get a happy. That's a happy ending.
That is good.
So one
Red
thing to remember,
shoes?
these people believed with great conviction in the power of the supernatural, of divine forces meddling with their souls. So it makes sense that if they believe strongly enough in a curse, they'd also believe deeply in the power of penance.
And when you think of what they'd done to earn their forgiveness from St. Vitus, a 30-mile journey, sacrificing a whole ass penny, wearing little red shoes, it probably did seem to them like they'd earned their freedom. But there's yet another theory about the miraculous healing that took place.
So our final question, what else may have healed them? A, antibiotics. B, a traveling hypnotist. Or C, the power of love.
Oh, I got it.
You know,
B.
I agree with you, too, that I should get double points on that last one
B.
because I locked my answer in a little bit sooner.
No. What's your?
I'm gonna go with C.
You're gonna go with C. The power of
The
love.
power of love.
B.
That's the power of love.
Oof. Rough.
I chose B,
Yeah.
but fucking hypnotism. I guess back in the day was a thing.
That's a lot of people to hypnotize.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Fuck. Damn it, Ryan.
Well, it's too late
I'll
now.
choose B.
You choose B.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna give the
B
point to
too.
Ryan. A history point for Ryan. You won. Remember,
I don't think I did because he gave you all those phony points.
we'll find out. We'll tally up the scores at the end. Think back to the beginning of this story, the state of the community before the plague took hold, decades of growing class divide, an uncaring and downright abusive clergy, a lower class bearing the brunt of a seemingly endless series of community hardships. And yet, when the plague took hold, the community banded together. Author Jennifer Wright says, quote,
The people of Strasbourg were exceedingly, abnormally kind to those afflicted. They didn't burn them at stakes. They didn't permanently cast them out of the community. Thought and concern went into considering ways to make them healthy again.
Isn't that sweet?
That is
It is
pretty
sweet.
good.
So
this-
it's a little
decent.
happy ending.
That's a
happy
happy ending
ending,
after
yeah.
all. Sure, a lot of people died, but
That's the cost of knowledge.
And that's the
Yeah.
cost of living back then. That was a good story, dude. I learned a lot.
Yeah,
you.
me too.
Dancing is, who knew it would be so dangerous?
There is consequences.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell my daughter that. Hey, look, sometimes you're gonna want to dance, but here's the
don't you
story.
dare. Don't you dare.
Was that a cautionary tale after that's all
yeah.
happened? Like,
Yeah, I think so. That's the
Daddy, I'm so happy I could dance. And he's like, no, don't you do it.
No daughter of mine. Well, that concludes our history lesson. I'm going to go tally the scores to see who receives the coveted cup and title of History Master. While I do that, please enjoy this special performance from someone who was blamed for this whole thing, along with St. Vitus, God. And just a heads up, God doesn't really look like you'd expect him to, so just know that. He's kind of a weird-looking guy. But anyway, enjoy.
All right, let's get this over with.
What the fuck? Oh, shit.
It's me, God.
No, it's not.
Yes.
It's not.
Like a Bloodborne character.
I'm God, okay? I've got something to say. Those dummies dancing after death, that wasn't me. No way. I made the stars and moon and sun, and also I made everyone, like Genghis Khan, Celine Dion, all dogs and cats, fruit bats, your mom, and sure, some people worship me, but then I did make everything, like Jupiter and Tupperware and Diet Coke and teddy bears. But I didn't make those people dance, so way back when in olden France, I'm not that guy, that's not my scene. You think that I would be so mean? And sure, I killed their crops for years and preyed upon their deepest fears of squalid plague, no food to eat, but dancing, man, that's not my beat.
Hey, I see what you did
You
there.
know what? I lied. It's all on me. I got those dingbats to their feet. Boy, they could really jitterbug. But when they died, I pulled the plug. So what? Who cares? Come on. It's not the worst thing that I've done. Like bedbugs, pink eye, Tampa, Florida, and also the rest of Florida. So yeah, I made those people dance way back when in olden France. I'm sorry. I know it was rude. I guess I'm just a zany dude.
Wow.
That was actually pretty good.
Wow, God is a masterful lyricist. What a strong performer.
Yeah, man. God made Lauryn Hill. So
Unbelievable.
That makes sense.
You really
He
got to
said
stop
Lauryn Hill.
complimenting yourself at the
Huh?
end of these through the
That
veil of a puppet.
wasn't me. That was God. Hey, so believe it or not, this is wild. You guys aren't going to believe this. It is a tie.
Really?
Okay, oh wow, this is historic.
You know what?
Tiebreaker.
I'm going to do a tiebreaker.
There you go.
Here we go. If you joined a dancing plague, what would your dance move be? It's a
sprinkler.
dance-off,
That's
folks.
a dance-off.
The sprinkler.
I'm gonna go with a classic because I think it uses a lot of space.
The sprinkler.
So I would go.
No. Look at Ryan's face, bro. He's so stupid.
I don't like that one bit.
You don't like it?
Come on, Jermaine. Come on, hit him with the
Jermaine's
sprinkler.
already got a bit of an edge going into this one because that was pretty sorry.
I guess I'll just go with whatever I'm
Sprinkler.
feeling. So, I just, and then I
Interesting.
spin,
Oh,
and
shit.
then
Oh,
I do the thing like this, and then,
I'll hand him
I
the
don't
trophy.
know.
I'll hand him the trophy.
All right, yeah.
That's good, yeah. Why there? Oh. Well, there you go.
Congratulations, Jermaine.
There's Johnny Things in it as well. Look
You
at
are the history master.
that. Thank you very
I'm
much.
gonna take a joke.
Thank you, McNasty.
Yo, that was crazy, bro. That was a really interesting video because it's just like tells you how far behind technology was back then. That to the point they were just trying anything. Like, hey, these people can't stop dancing. Instead of looking at it from, maybe check their blood or vital signs or stuff like that. They didn't have access to that kind of thing. So they're thinking stuff like, let's build a concert for them. Let's see if they get tired of dancing. Oh, that didn't work. Let's march them 30 miles and with red shoes on and do this. And I don't know. It was just a whole bunch of wild stuff going on back then. But I'm still trying to figure out why Troph just started dancing out of nowhere. Like, was that her method of trying to hey, people, dance off the bad times and maybe you'll feel better? Or was it just it was actually a symptom, or was it just like a psychological thing that people was like, hey, she looks happy, maybe we should dance too to be happy, and they realized like, why the hell we dancing, and they just stopped doing it, right? I don't know, maybe it's like the same when people yawn, you know, when they yawn, the other person yawns, maybe it was just like that. Maybe it was like one of those things to where it was contagious, but you don't know why you're doing it, right? You don't have to be tired, but if someone yawns, sometimes you yawn too, so it's like, who knows?